What's up, everybody? It's JT Sports, and I'm back to you guys with another video. I'm here with Andrew Ugger, the owner of Sports Addicts. He's on to talk about the Seattle Seahawks team needs and free agency and NFL draft targets. So, Andrew, man, you guys
Thanks for
went
having me, Jordan.
no problem, man. Thanks for coming on. So, you guys went 10-6. You guys exceeded expectations by a mile. A lot of people really rather counted y'all out. The Richard
Including
Sherman.
you.
Yeah, I was one of them. I said you guys were going to go 6-10. Richard Sherman got
Yeah, a
traded
lot of people
away.
said we were going to go 3-13 and 4-12, and we didn't. We really put a box of scraps together and did a lot with it.
Yeah, I felt Pete Carroll should have won Coach of the Year. Very impressive job. And the thing that impressed me the most was the offensive line. It was a lot more improved. Then the run game was very, very improved as well.
Yes, absolutely. Except at the end there, of course, when we got a little stubborn about it and didn't just give Russell Wilson the ball and let him do his thing until it was halfway through the fourth quarter. But on the whole, yes, we definitely we went back to our Marshawn Lynch style, run the ball, and it was very pleasant to see for the most part. Very refreshing to not have to see Russell Wilson,
Get hit so many
scrambling
times.
for his life 24/7,
Yeah.
trying to make magical things happen. Like that one year where he led the league in touchdown passes and he scored all but one of our touchdowns. It was very nice to see, but we need to make sure that we're not stubborn about it, and that when it doesn't work, that we do give Russell the ball, because he is one of the best quarterbacks, not just now, but ever. He will be a Hall of Famer someday. We have to make sure that we know when to balance things out between that run game and giving him the ball, letting him do the magical things we've all seen him do.
So, speaking about this season, you guys made it to the playoffs, got robbed by the Cowboys, or the rest is what a lot of people are saying. So, how do you guys build on this season? What are you guys' team needs going into this off season? And what are some players in the NFL draft or NFL free agency that can fill those needs?
Well, this season, as somebody who has been affiliated with this team for a long time, whether it's working for them or writing about them off to the side from afar, I've seen this specific front office do this before. It feels a lot like the season where he went and lost to the Atlanta Falcons in the divisional round in a heartbreaking game. If you remember that game, where Pete Carroll tried to ice Matt Bryant and he missed it, and then he turned around and made it right down the middle.
Yeah.
That was really heartbreaking. So this feels a lot like that season where, we had just 2 years prior done the 7-9 Saints, the stunning upset, and really feels like that. We've taken that box of scraps and gotten it all together, and we kind of have more of a core in place than we did after that 7-9 season right now. So if we fast forward 2 years to the Atlanta season, it really feels like that. And then, as you know, the following season is when we won our Super Bowl. So I really have high expectations for next season. As far as the holes on the roster, there are plenty of places that we need to upgrade. Like I said, it was a box of scraps we dealt with this season. We had very little money. We got rid of a lot of all-pro players. I mean, everybody thought we were finished. We were done. I saw so many. The Seahawks bandwagon has died memes on the internet. If I had $1 for every one, I'd be a millionaire. Easy. So everybody wrote us off. So, we have exceeded expectations, and we do have some holes to fill on the roster. Like you mentioned, the offensive line was really solid, and I really liked what I saw there as well. But we did have one particular player who kept getting hurt and kind of underperforming, and it was J.R. Sweezy. Although he did kind of come in right before the season started, and he did good for the circumstances. And if we're talking about a Super Bowl team, that is one area I would upgrade. And honestly, former Seahawk James Carpenter looks like a fantastic option to fill that position on the offensive line if they choose to do anything in that regard. I also think that we will be signing Austin Sabarian Jenkins at tight end. I think that he is going to be a Seahawk next season. He was very close to signing a contract with the Seahawks this previous offseason. He didn't because we literally didn't have enough money to do it, and it wasn't that big of a contract. I think he got 2 years, $10 million from the Jaguars. So, I mean, we have over almost $70 million in cap space. Signing somebody to a deal like that or lesser, that's not going to be a problem this offseason. So, I see that fully happening. I would also like to see us add some depth at wide receiver. We have two $10 million wide receivers right now, and we don't really need to be signing or trading for anybody like Antonio Brown, but getting somebody on the cheap like a Demaryius Thomas or a Des Bryant or Kelvin Benjamin, guys that have been number ones in this league and have put up stats, getting some rehabilitation projects like that would be cheap, out to prove themselves. I think that would be fantastic. I would love to see that. I would also like to see the Seahawks bring back Jermaine Kearse, who has made some of the biggest catches in our franchise's entire history. I think it was really stupid trading him away to begin with, and I think it would be great to get him back. I think it would be great to get Shelton Richardson back as well, because he was part of that trade. He was what we traded Jermaine Kearse away. I think he needs to look at his decision to go to Minnesota. I messed up. I made a mistake. I hope that he calls back to Seattle. He would definitely be a tremendous asset on our defensive line.
And talking about defense, what are you guys needs there and some potential holes there? Because you guys know you guys are losing Earl Thomas.
Yes, we know we've known for a while we've had to replace Earl Thomas. And if any of you listening to this want to listen to the last interview I did with Jordan, I fully predicted that the Seahawks are going to let him walk for a compensatory pick. And boom, look what's happening. So that's one reason the Seahawks and I have had a long relationship is I'm generally right about things. So a lot of these things that you're hearing me say are one way or another probably going to happen. So, I mean, if we don't sign a specific player, then we're going to sign somebody at that position. So I'm guessing we don't sign James Carpenter at guard. We're going to sign another guard. So as far as the defense goes, though, definitely would like to see an interior defensive lineman like Sheldon Richardson, like I mentioned. But if he doesn't want to come crawling back to Seattle, I think David Irving would be a fantastic option. He can line up at all four spots, and that's somebody that we have needed since Michael Bennett left, even though I don't miss him jumping off sides twice a game anymore. But we could definitely use somebody who is as versatile as he is, no doubt. We also need to re-sign KJ Wright and Frank Clark. We have the money to do it, so we have no excuse not to. KJ should be more affordable than if he was, not coming off a season where he missed 13 games. That would be nice. Frank Clark is going to cost a bunch of money, so I'm crossing my fingers on that one. As this front office is rather frugal. They go out and get their guy when they want somebody, but they're not going to overpay you. They have never been like that. They're a little stubborn about it now since Cam Chancellor and Cliff Avril got injured especially. They're very hesitant to hand out long-term deals like that can hand-tie them. But if they were going to give one to anybody on the current roster, Frank Clark and Tyler Lockett, who they've already extended, would be the two guys to give them to. Tyler Lockett's extension worked out great. He's already outplayed his $10 million a year extension in my mind. So I think if we give $13 to $14 million to Frank Clark, that should hopefully do the trick.
Okay.
As far as replacing Earl Thomas, you want to say something?
Oh no, you can keep going, man.
as far as Earl Thomas goes, replacing him, when I was scrolling through the available free agents, I saw somebody that looked very appealing, and that was Giant safety
Landon Collins. I like that. Landon Collins. I like that. I like that pickup.
Yeah, Landon Collins. I've heard Landon Collins compared to Earl Thomas a lot as well. I feel that given the fact that Landon Collins is 5 years younger and is comparable, I feel that's not only a replacement, I feel that could be an upgrade, given the fact that Earl is already 30 years old and coming off not back-to-back season-ending injuries, but 2 out of the last 3 seasons he has had significant severe, not career-ending injuries, but season-ending injuries. And this is on a team where we had Cam Chancellor suffer a career-ending injury and Cliff Abel suffer a career-ending injury. Richard Sherman suffered his first a season-ending injury ever. And then, look, he didn't have an interception for the 49ers last season at all. He had his worst season as a pro last season. So I'm thinking that Earl Thomas, as much of a Hall of Famer as he is likely on the downturn of his career. So we can either look at it as, let's give Earl the money we would give Landon Collins, or let's give a 5 years younger version of Earl Thomas that same money. So I don't know if we're going to sign Landon Collins or not. I don't know if that's written in stone, but I would sure love to see that happen. I saw his name available. My eyes got wide. I was like, damn. So that would be awesome. Him, Bradley McDougald, who has quietly turned into one of the best safeties in the league. Nobody talks about it. He's gone to back-to-back Pro Bowls. So, I mean, then all of a sudden you've got that. Our cornerback situation is solid. I don't see us needing to add any corners, which should shock you after we cut Richard Sherman. That corner is not an issue for us. A testament to our coaching staff, our new coaching staff. We hired all brand new guys. So that's a very big testament to Ken Norton Jr. getting those guys ready. As far as KJ Wright goes, that's the only other guy I can think of. If he leaves, we obviously need somebody to replace him. And I think the playoff villain D4 would be a perfect replacement as long as he doesn't jump off sides.
Okay, nice. So one more question before we end the video. I'm very intrigued about former Miami Dolphins defensive end that you guys picked up, Dion Jordan. He was, I believe, a top 5 pick.
Second overall pick.
Yeah. So this is the last question before we end the video. What's up about him? Are you guys going to bring him back, or are you guys going to let him go? Because I think his contract was ending too.
Dion Jordan, I believe, is on a 1-year deal, and he was banged up throughout the year. But when he was on the field, he didn't do too bad. But again, if we're talking about bringing this team from a box of scraps to a Super Bowl roster,
he won't make it.
Dion Jordan is best suited for a backup role, and maybe that's the direction they head. I know they like him a lot, and that the Seahawks love their former top picks that get cut because they don't have a chance to ever draft those guys because they're always picking, 20th, 25th, or always making the playoffs. Even when they didn't make the playoffs, they were the team right before the cutoff where all the playoff teams picked. I think they picked 18th, and the first playoff team picked 19th or something like that. So, I mean, they're always right there at the end of the first round. They never get to pick any of these guys. So, DJ Fluker was another guy. He was picked 10th overall, I think, 11th overall, something like that. And then I'm never going to get their hands on him. So when he became available as a free agent, boom. So that's another thing you have to look out for is the top picks that get released by their teams. Those are the guys that the Seahawks really like. Marquise Mingo was another one. He was a 6th overall pick. He got cut by the Colts. Boom. He's a Seahawk. It's really... That's what you need to look for. So if you want to look for who the Seahawks are most likely to sign, look for the top 10 picks that get cut or get released or are no longer with their teams. They're most likely going to end up here.
Okay. So everybody, that's Andrew Ugger. He runs Sports Addicts on Facebook, a Facebook group. You guys can make sure to check that out. I will link that down in the description. in the comment section down below. And Andrew, thanks for coming on, man. You gave us more insight than what we expected, and you're always a blast to have on. Great insight. You know your stuff. You're right about almost everything you say. And we're glad to
I
have
know
you
I
on,
am.
man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
No problem.